The 2024 Northern Virginia housing market still continues to be one of the most challenging markets we have ever seen. New listings hitting the market are at historically low levels, home affordability is at an all-time high, and mortgage interest rates are still hovering right around 7%. Yet most homes are still selling the first weekend with multiple offers and for above asking price. So is there any relief in sight for home buyers? Well, in this week's video, we're gonna dive into exactly what I've been seeing being boots on the ground, and then I'll share with you what I believe is the future of the Northern Virginia housing market moving forward, and you're not gonna wanna miss it, so sit back, relax, because we're getting started right now. Boom! Hey everybody, it's David, your favorite realtor, and welcome back to another video. So we are officially halfway through 2024, so we're gonna start this video off with a mid-year recap. So overall, in Northern Virginia, 2024 has been one of the most challenging housing markets I have ever seen, even more so than 2021, when all this craziness first started due to the demand for bigger housing because of the pandemic and historically low interest rates. So what are some of the main challenges the Northern Virginia housing market is facing? So the first challenge is we're currently at all-time record high prices, where the average sales price of a home in Northern Virginia comes out to $799,000, and I cannot believe that number. Every time I make a new video just like this, that number keeps going higher and higher. Now let's compare that number to last year, where the average sales price came out to $744,000. So home prices are up 7.4% compared to last year. Now the next challenge is lack of new listings hitting the market. Now this is a continuing trend from last year, when we saw some of the lowest levels of inventory since the mid-90s. So low inventory was a huge issue last year, and this year has been better, but only slightly. So new listings that hit the market here in Northern Virginia from January 1st to the end of May is up 3.62% compared to the same time frame last year. So yes, it's great. We actually have more listings compared to last year, but 3.62% does not move the needle whatsoever, and it's not even close enough to satisfy the buyer demand. Now let's compare new listings hitting the market to the last full year pre-pandemic. This was the last quote-unquote normal market, which was back in 2019. So new listings that hit the market are 40% less compared to the same time frame in 2019. I don't know about you, I would love to see 40% more listings hitting the market. Now this would move the needle. Now the next challenge is mortgage interest rates are still hovering right around 7%. It has been that way the majority of the year. And this is without question the direct cause of the low levels of inventory, not just here in Northern Virginia, but across the country as a whole. So buyers have 100% adjusted to the new norms of 7% interest rates. However, sellers have not. Let me explain. So potential home sellers, they're experiencing something called mortgage rate lock-in effect. So basically what that is a homeowner doesn't want to become a seller because it's extremely hard to sell your home that has a sub 4% rate and then turn around and buy a home at a 7% rate. So anyone who owns a home is a potential seller. And I'll use myself as an example with the mortgage rate lock-in effect. So as of me filming this video, and according to Mortgage News Daily, the average 30-year fixed rate comes out to 7.17%. Again, I'm gonna use myself as an example, and I'm gonna go over two different scenarios with you to share with you how much high rates affect home affordability. So I bought my townhouse in Ashburn back in 2022 for $665,000, and I have a rate of 3.25%. So if I bought the exact same house at the exact same price with today's rates, my mortgage payment will be over $1,500 more per month. That is a lot of money. So obviously I wouldn't sell my house just to buy the exact same house, but if I was to become a potential seller and buy another house, it would be for a single family home, and the motivation behind that will be have an extra bedroom and have a 2-car garage instead of a 1-car garage. Now if I take the average sales price of a single family home in the areas that I would personally move to, that number comes out to $1.1 million. And with today's interest rates, my mortgage payment would almost double and be more than $3,400 per month. So $3,400 extra per month just for one extra bedroom and one extra garage space, that is 100% not worth it to me. So I am staying put exactly where I am, and this is the same thinking behind most potential sellers. So people who are actually selling their homes today, there are people who 100% have to sell. Whether they just have a much smaller house and have a growing family and they need a bigger home, or they're relocating to another part of the country, whether it's for a new job or retirement. Now, as much as I love making videos about living right here in Northern Virginia, what I love even more is helping folks just like you relocate to the area. So if you're even thinking about moving to Northern Virginia, reach out to me, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. Just know I got your back when you're moving to Northern Virginia. So what have I personally seen being in the trenches in our housing market? I'll share with you a few things. I remember back in like March, April timeframe, I had a client, and within a 3-week period, we lost against 7 offers, 17 offers, 19 offers, and 25 offers. Just so you know, if you're competing against 25 offers and you win, are you really the winner? Because if you're gonna beat out 25 other offers, guess what? You're drastically overpaid for the house. Now, my clients did not win that house, which I'm very glad, but it was a townhouse in Fairfax. Ended up selling for about $85,000 above asking price. I've also seen a crazy amount of offers on all different style of homes, different locations, and different price points. I've seen mediocre homes get 10 plus offers, but one of the craziest things I saw this year was a house in McLean, which I actually personally showed, by the way. Well, this house in McLean sold for $465,000 above asking price. Yes, you heard that right. A house selling for $465,000 above asking price. This is unheard of. I have never seen a home sell for that much over asking price. I'll tell you what, I would have loved to be a fly in the wall when the buyer and his agent were discussing how much above asking price to offer. But I'll tell you this, there's no way I would ever recommend to a client to bid $465,000 above asking price. Now, with lack of new listings hitting the market and high demand, this is a very common scenario that you will find yourself in. So you finally find your favorite home. Well, guess what? Chances are it's gonna be 5 other buyers' favorite home as well. And now you're gonna go into the dreaded multiple offer scenario. And you will be competing against other buyers who are gonna be waiving their home inspection contingency, their appraisal contingency, and going way above asking price just to secure that home. And in this scenario, seeing homes sell anywhere between $50,000 and $100,000 above asking price is very common. Now, to put all this into context, pre-pandemic, it was unheard of for a house to get 25 plus offers, buyers waiving all their contingencies, and homes selling for $100,000 above asking price. I remember very vividly 2018, 2019, homes still got multiple offers, but you can win that home going 5, 10, maybe $20,000 above asking price max, all while keeping your contingencies in place. Now, the housing market has cooled down ever so slightly, so let me share with you some stats. So homes that have sold in Fairfax County in the past 15 days, well, 65% of those homes sold above asking price, and on average, they were selling for $30,000 above list price. Now, if I compare these numbers to April, which is kind of the height of the spring market, in Fairfax County, 90% of all homes were selling above asking price, and on average, those homes were selling for $40,000 above list price. Now, I know all of this can be extremely frustrating for buyers, and I can see why people get very discouraged, especially after losing out on 5 different homes. But keep this in mind, not all homes sell the first weekend with multiple offers, so you can definitely find some diamonds in the rough and great value, especially if you're patient enough. So what does the future of the Northern Virginia housing market look like? Now, I don't have a crystal ball, so I have no idea what's going to happen in the future. So how do I come up with my outlooks of the housing market moving forward? Well, I start off with hours and hours and hours of research where I'm looking up data on my local MLS, and then I talk to other high producing agents here in the area, kind of see what they're seeing, plus what my clients and myself are personally seeing being in the trenches. Now, what we need is a more balanced market. Not a crash, but a more balanced market. And what that is when there's an equal amount of sellers and buyers, where one group doesn't have a huge advantage over the other. Now, the past 4 years or so, the majority of the time, sellers have had a huge advantage over buyers when it comes to negotiations. Now, to get a more balanced market, we need way more inventory to satisfy the demand. Unfortunately, I don't see this happening anytime soon. So I believe the rest of 2024, inventory levels will remain low. However, we will still end the year with more new listings hitting the market compared to last year, but not even close to the levels we had back in 2019. I just really don't see an influx of inventory coming out of nowhere. So what could bring an influx of inventory? That answer is simple: rate cuts. There's a huge mental barrier with most homeowners who are locked in at sub 4% rates. So we need to get out of the 7% rates, probably more into the mid 5s. And I believe if rates went down to the mid 5s, this would bring an influx of sellers to the market. But unfortunately, at the exact same time, demand was skyrocketed as well from two main groups. Those sellers, they're going to turn to the buyers themselves, and then buyers who've been sitting on the sidelines due to high rates, well, guess what? They're going to jump back into the market. Now, this would bring more housing options, but we would still be in an unbalanced market. So I personally don't see a balanced market coming anytime soon. Maybe if rates hit 10%, because that would halt the buyer demand. But I don't see rates hitting 10%. I really do believe they'll probably hit the mid 6s by the end of the year. Now, I did predict last year that rates would hit the mid 5s this year, but I highly doubt that's gonna happen, especially that the Federal Reserve is now indicating only one rate cut this year, as opposed to the original outlook of 3 rate cuts they had planned for 2024. Now, the good news is the spring market is over and we will be going into the normal seasonal slowdown. That's gonna be due to like summer vacations, kids eventually going back to school, and then the holidays. Now, it will still be competitive, but definitely not as competitive as the first half of the year. Where maybe an A+ home, let's say in April or May, will get 10 to 15 offers. Well, that same home may only get 3 or 4 offers in October. So it is a lot easier to secure a home, but keep this in mind. Right on cue, right after the holidays, January 2nd, that is when our spring market starts, and that's when the buyer demand skyrockets. So a low inventory and high buyer demand, I truly believe that home prices will continue to rise. And when I make this exact same video this time next year, I believe home prices would have gone up anywhere from 5 to 8% higher than today. So what the future holds for a local housing market is pretty much the same. Low inventory, high mortgage rates, buyers waiving their contingencies, homes selling for way above asking price, and home values continuing to rise. So I can say for certainty, I do not see a crash or even a pullback coming anytime soon. But you know, if I see any changes to the housing market, I will make a brand new video and keep you updated every step of the way. And if you want to learn more about living right here in Northern Virginia, check out these videos right here. They're gonna be great ways to continue your research, and I'll see you in the next video.